A toast to our new college grad who fills us with so much joy, almost as much as when we're in our RV. Oh, the world is your oyster, kiddo, and ours too. Now that we're covered with Progressive, Dad and I can hop in our RV anytime we want. Might even splurge on a retractable awning. Ooh, look out. Sorry, what was I talking about?
Protect your loved one with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1703. When your partner isn't sure they want a future with you. Part 1. By Tonya Lester of TonyaLester.com. Hello, everybody. I am Greg Audino, and this is ORD, where I'm with you every single day, narrating some of the world's best blogs when it comes to relationship building. Today, we'll be hearing a piece from Tonya Lester, one of the newer additions to our roster of writers. She has a longer post about what to do when your partner isn't sure that they want a future with you. So I'll split it up between today and tomorrow for you. And for now, let's dive into part 1 as we optimize your life. When your partner isn't sure they want a future with you. Part 1. By Tonya Lester of TonyaLester.com. Quote, "The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too." That's by Ernest Hemingway. At Eagle Point Elementary, where I went for 3rd grade, there was one very cute boy. Jason was the object of affection for seemingly every 3rd grade girl. He would make a list each day of the 5 girls he thought were the cutest. That list changed every day. Whoever took the top spot for the day was the girl Jason decided he was going with. Was going with a thing in everyone's elementary school or just in suburban Minnesota? What did that even mean? I still remember the elation when I edged out my friend Caroline for the top spot. It was short-lived. Caroline was tough to beat. My dad got wind of this top 5 system, and he sat me down to say, "Never wait to be in somebody's top spot. If you have to convince someone of how great you are, they shouldn't be in your top spot." I opted out of the competition the next day. Adults are subtler than Jason was, but my father's top spot lesson was a valuable one. In my 20s, I dated a guy who ran cold and hot with me, leaving me insecure and obsessing over the relationship. Heeding my dad's warning, I ended things abruptly. It was initially very painful, and I questioned if I had pulled the plug too quickly. But within a few months, I realized there was no happy future with this person. He either didn't care enough about me or was incapable of a secure, intimate relationship. Either way, I had dodged a bullet. Here's a scenario I see play out often in my psychotherapy practice. You meet someone and fall in love. After about a year of dating, you're eager to marry and have children. Your partner is happy in the relationship, but not ready to move forward. Initially, you're patient and sympathetic. But by the end of year 2, you're frustrated about putting your life on hold while your partner is figuring things out. Frequently, when you seem to have reached the end of your rope and appear ready to walk away, your partner begs for more time. By year 4, you're vacillating between rage and panic, but you feel like this has to work out because you can't bear the thought of starting over with someone new. During year 5, your partner announces they might never want to get married or have kids. In fact, they'd like to start seeing other people. If you've ever found yourself in love with a commitment-avoidant person, you know it can be hard to tell when to be patient and when to pull the plug. Do you walk away from someone you love just because you have different timelines? How much time do you give your partner to decide whether they are in or out? In other words, should you stay or should you go? Does any of this sound familiar? He won't commit because he's still getting over his first marriage. But if I can hang in, he's going to see how good I am for him. She had a traumatic childhood and doesn't trust men, so it's tough for her to be faithful, but she's working on it. We've been together for 5 years, but he's still not sure. He says he'll know when he knows. If so, let's look at how you got here, and why you stay, and what you can do next. Your parents give you your first example of how to give and receive love. Unfortunately, sometimes they're not the best role models, especially when it comes to relationships. Did one parent prioritize work above everything and never make time for you? Or did you feel valued as long as you followed the rules and were easygoing, but shunned when you were struggling or needed extra attention? This treatment teaches you that people you love aren't reliable. that you are too much for people to love consistently, or that you aren't valued as much as their work, their hobbies, or the other people in their lives. But what if you had terrific, consistent, loving parents? Maybe you really even admire their relationship and dream of having a similar one yourself. Then what? Look at your early romantic relationships. These can provide a prototype, for better or worse, for your future connections. Say, for example, that your high school boyfriend told you that he loved you, but blew you off to hang out with his friends at every opportunity. Or your first girlfriend cheated on you repeatedly. Our brains can lock into the idea that this is how love is supposed to feel. A different, but equally tricky scenario is that you had no early romantic life to speak of. You feel like you've never been chosen as the special one. In this case, you might feel like you're lucky to get any attention at all, and that you'd better not be too demanding. If this sounds like you may have an anxious attachment style. Someone healthily attached may strongly prefer to be in a relationship and may feel that they are at their best when coupled up, but would rather be alone than stay in a relationship when their needs are not met. If you are anxiously attached, any relationship, no matter how unsatisfying, is better than being alone. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled, When Your Partner Isn't Sure They Want a Future with You, by Tonya Lester of TonyaLester.com.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What are you saving up for? A vacation? A remodel? Or just because saving is a smart thing to do? A CD from Sandy Spring Bank gives you time to grow your savings at a guaranteed rate. Right now, you can earn interest at 4.25% annual percentage yield on a 14-month CD or 4.00% APY on a 35-month CD. Ready to grow your savings? Let's talk. Visit sandyspringbank.com/CD specials. Minimum opening deposit is $2,500, member FDIC.
And a great start from Tonya today. Thanks so much to her for that. It definitely seems like the punchline, if you will, or the lessons we'll really be able to put to practice will follow in tomorrow's part 2. But one thing she's already encouraged us and given us the space to do is to take a look at what excuses we might be making for our partners. Take this time between parts 1 and 2 to reflect on that. Are there ways in which you're being treated unfairly? Are there sacrifices you've been making for too long? Sacrifices that you shouldn't actually have to make, that never seem to be remedied. These types of things can creep up on us, as Tonya said. So consider this an opportunity to step out from the cycle and reflect on what parts of your relationship are not fair to you, and more importantly, are not worth the current sacrifice and haven't been in motion for some time. Scary stuff, but important stuff, everybody. Tonya to the rescue in the continuation of this post tomorrow, though. So, thank you for stopping in today and listening through the end, and I will see you for part 2, where your optimal life awaits.